Hello YouTube, how are you doing? I was asked by some of you on my main channel, the E-SickBiker channel, to do the full range of Merida bikes for 2021. I'm gonna be doing, like I did in the past on this channel, some different brands, so just let me know in the comments what brand would you like to see covered and explained just for customers. This is the homepage of Merida, and today I'm gonna cover the mountain bikes. If you don't have any like deeper knowledge about mountain bikes from Merida, this might look like a lot, like full suspension, hardtail, XC marathon, marathon trail, all mountain, enduro, sport and tour. Well, all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 types of the bikes are actually included here in the full suspension and hardtails, because these two categories are just mountain bikes divided by the suspension. So full suspension means front and rear suspension, and this one is just the front suspension. It's called hardtails. So for example, the XC and marathon will be full suspension bikes, the marathon trail will be full suspension bikes, and then trail will be both full suspension and hardtails. XC marathon also will be some hardtails, all mountains will be full, enduro full suspension, and here we'll have hardtails. So I'm just gonna show you the everything, of course, but we'll go dividing the bikes by the suspension. So let's start with the hardtails. When you click hardtails, all the hardtails from Merida will appear. Right here, there are some really good bikes, and I've ridden most of them, except for the big trail. Let me now show you the main types of the bikes that you will get. The big trail, that's the hardtail for just some fun riding on the trails. You're not gonna have rear suspension, but you're gonna have bigger tires, like wider tires, 2.4, and the dropper post, slacker head angle. So this bike, let's just show you the example. This bike will be easier to learn, wheelie, manual, some jumps. It will be safer for you on steeper descents because of the geometry. It will be just more fun, heavier, that's for sure, but also more rigid, more tough. So these are the hardtail trail bikes. You have 200, 400, 500 and 600. If you have 3 digits, that's nothing new for Merida. That means that the frame is aluminum alloy. You can always check it out, right? Specifications, you can check it out right here. It says TFS, that's the aluminum frame. Of course, you have all the newest stuff. For example, here you have BSA bottom bracket, but you have 148 by 12 millimeters axle at the rear. Then you have a lot of travel, 140 at the front. You can even put 2.6 tire on it. Beautiful. So these are the trail bikes, just for fun. You don't start your stopwatch when you sit on the bike. Then you have the Big 9. Big 9 is mostly cross-country bikes, also some sportive bikes, but essentially you have carbon and aluminum. But as for carbon, you will have the Big 9 9000 on the super light CF5 carbon frame, and then from the 7000, so 4 digits, it's still carbon, you will have a little bit cheaper CF3, and then from 700, 3 digits, you will have the aluminum alloy Big 9 Light. This is a very good frame. And then the Big 9 from the XT edition, you will have TFS3 frame. And finally, the bikes for younger, not for kids maybe, but for teenagers, some bikes on the 27.5-inch wheels, that's mats, and also mats on the 26-inch wheels. you will also see on the homepage of the Merida, the youth and kids. There will be also some smaller wheels for kids. So once again, we have trail bikes, single tracks, fun ride, tougher, easier and safer. Cross country, you have CF5 super light frame for these two. Then you have CF3 a little bit heavier and lighter frame for this one, 7000 XT 5000 and 3000. And then 3 digits. This will be the light aluminum light frame. That's 1, 2, 3 models. And finally, a little bit heavier, maybe with no such internal cable routing with these inserts like the light model has. The aluminum bikes will be compatible with front derailleur, so you can either have one with front derailleur. You can also run one by drivetrain, because some of those will have stock one by drivetrain. Which one to choose? Of course, if you're racing, the lightest would be awesome, but I will tell you that even if you buy something like 3000 and put some nice wheels, it will be a great bike for racing. The heavier and lighter carbon frames have the same exact geometry, so these are fast and really aggressive bikes. And then the light frame, aluminum light frame, will be very similar in terms of the geometry to those carbon bikes. And then the other frames will give you a little bit more comfort. So these are, I would say, sportive mountain bikes, these that you can see down here. So this is for the Hardtails, right? The Big 9 carbon and aluminum light for racing, and then Big Trail for trail riding, tough wide tires, and then the non-light aluminum frame, the TFS frame, for just sportive use, some mountain biking, some just like recreational mountain biking. And then let's go to the full suspension bikes. They are where are they? They are here. And here we have the 96. We have 120, 140 and 160. So a little bit too much. I would actually not like to have 3 full suspension trail enduro bikes. I would either have nice trail bike, nice enduro bike, and nothing in between, because it's difficult to make a decision. I'm gonna try to explain that to you. First, 96, that's easy. You have 96 millimeters travel at the rear and 100 at the front. These are cross-country and marathon bikes. These will be very light. Number one, that's the 9000 on super light CF5 frame. Then from 3000 you will have the CFA frame, and then the XT version 3000 will have CF4. I don't really think you need 3 different frames, right? Because 3000 and then XT 3000 and then the 9000 3000. Once again, I'm sorry guys, this is the XT, this is the 3000 I was looking right here, and this is the 9000, right? So just 1 frame, 2 frames, 3 frames, 3 different frames, same geometry but different frames. 2 frames would be enough. Which one would I choose? To be honest, for cross country, I would go for the lightest one. But if it is just too expensive for you, go for the one you can afford, because you can always upgrade with the wheels, at least with the wheels. And the kinematics of the 96 is very efficient, very efficient. And finally, you also get the 96. You see 3 digits for 400. That means you have the light frame. So this is the alloy one. Merida doesn't really talk much about it. They do have the alloy option, and not many people would go for it because it's over 13 kilograms, and nobody for cross country would go for this model probably. You have lockout remote on the handlebars on all these bikes. I'm not sure about the alloy one, probably not, the carbon ones. And then we have the 120. Antonio Jose Hermida with his partner, they have won in Masters category Cape Epic on this bike. It was the RC, the race version, not this one exactly, but the 120 RC. So 120 will have 120 millimeters of travel at the rear and 130 at the front. This is a great bike, light with the float link. It's wonderful. You really are going to like this bike. I used to ride a lot the e-bike version, the 120, and I loved it. It felt like it had more travel. So 120 is a great trail bike in my opinion, not marathon bike. I was surprised that Jose went for this one. Maybe this was just too aggressive for so many hours of riding, I'm not sure. This one will not have the remote lockout, which is surprising for me if I was going to call it a marathon bike. So you have the 120 and then you have the 140. 140, as you can see here, we have only 3 digits, so 800, 700, 600, 400, that means these are aluminum frames. Whereas on the 120 you have the carbon, that's here, the 3 here, and then the aluminum bikes. Of course the alloy will be heavier, but you know what, on such a, if you treat it like a trail bike, maybe some trainings also, you can go for marathons on this one. I wouldn't really be thinking about weight that much. It won't be very light. The 700 will weigh, according to Merida, and they usually give us pretty good numbers. That's 14.5 kilograms, so that's not really for marathon, but it will be a nice tough bike for some adventures with a dropper post. So then 140, of course 120 and 140 will be much safer to learn riding in the tough terrain than the 96, which will have the aggressive geometry. But which one to choose, 120 or 140? I would say so. If you are starting to do like bigger jumps, you are starting to ride faster, and maybe you also are on the heavier side in terms of the body weight, then go for 140. But 120 will be really versatile and great bike. You will really rarely lack the travel on this bike. And finally, that's easier. On the 160, we have carbon and alloy bikes, and these are enduro bikes. So these are really tough bikes for tough riding, enduro racing, and I would actually only buy this bike if I was going to race enduro, not just for everyday use, because you don't need that much. 140, the alloy 140 or even 120 will be great option. So this is it, guys. I hope I just explained it pretty easily for you. So when we go back to this, now you know full suspension and hardtails. These are all the bikes here. So XC and marathon, that was 96 and 120. Marathon and trail was the 120 and 96. Sorry. XC and marathon, that was, shoot, let's just check it out at the end once again. Yeah, even I could forget. Yeah, so we've got 96, we've got Big 9, and no 120 here. Okay, yeah, this is XC marathon, of course. That's the 96 and Big 9 essentially, and then marathon trail will also include the 120. Then trail is 120, all mountain is 140, enduro is 160, and sport and tour, these are those Big 9 and Mats bikes. This is it. Thanks for watching, and see you in some other episode. Bye bye.